was nominated for special courses under his unblemished career. He has participated in many operations in India and abroad. So this was in short about our guest. Well, sir, we have some more to tell about you, and that I will be telling later in our when it's done. So, sir, to start with, firstly, we would like to know more about you, like the college where you have graduated, and what were your aspirations as a student? Did you think of going to the different services right from the childhood, or it was something that was developed on? Please, sir, we would like to hear.
Yeah. During the 1971 war, I was actually very small, but whatever I could understand that what is going on. So I had put my finger on the newspaper in which the description of the war was going on, and I just knew a word called military, and I told my father that this is where I want to join. And well, that dream came true in 1983 when I topped the UPSC exam called the Combined Defense Services. Now, UPSC is a commission actually which conducts lot many exams, out of which there are two exams for the defense services. One is the National Defense Academy, and second is the Combined Defense Services exam. And then it is followed by a 5 days grueling services selection board interview, then medical, and then the final merit, in which yes, I did not clear the medical for the Indian Air Force, where I actually wanted to join because of my eyesight. But I'm very happy that I joined the Indian Military Academy for 1.5 years of very, very tough training. And after that, my first posting was in a place called Hisar in Haryana in India. That is from where the journey actually started.
Yes, so that's great to know. And when I was reading your introduction, I even read like some of your like you're the first Prime Marshal of Indian history. So can you just tell something more about this? Something more
Uh,
about your experiences?
Correct. The first Sky Marshal is a untold history actually, because that operation till for a long time was kept secret, and we were not supposed to reveal our identity for a very long time. And that was the time when I mean, before that, I got selected for the elite National Security Guard, and in that also I specialized for counter hijack operations, and we did the first successful counter hijack operation in the world, with due respect to the NTB operation by Israeli commandos, which was more like a building intervention. But we actually entered the aircraft and killed both the terrorists, or rather neutralized them, and took out all passengers safely, right? So immediately after that, there were threats being received that the other aircraft going to the north of India would be also targeted for hijack. So we used to fly from Delhi to Srinagar, Ladakh, Amritsar as normal passengers, but of course carrying weapons and pagers and all. Now the technology has changed a lot, but that time these were the things which were utilized. So I, along with four of my colleagues, we flew first time from Delhi to Srinagar as a Sky Marshal, and for next 15 to 20 days, we were up and down Delhi to Srinagar, protecting the flyers going northbound.
So that's wonderful to know about it. And so when you started that, it was something very secret. So it's like, yeah, it's great to know about Sita. And yes, one more thing that I noticed that you were selected for many more challenging assignments, and you're nominated to your some special courses. So can you just tell some of your the assignments, especially the challenging assignments, any one of them?
Yeah, Dr. Anjum, what exactly are the, say, roles or duties of a defense officer? What normally people understand or see is that just pick up a AK-47 and fight with the enemy or terrorist. No, no, no. Yes, I mean, that is what is one of the tasks given to us. But in addition, a defense officer may be given lot many different kinds of a task in which I'll just show you an example. Uh, you all can see, right? Now, this mug and the entire painting was made by me for the silver jubilee of my regiment, and this entire painting actually depicts the complete 25 years of the silver jubilee, right? So I did not use AK-47 or any weapons to draw it. Uh, then one of the very challenging or a very different kind of a role or a responsibility uh, which I got was in Somalia, which is a North African country, in which under the aegis of the United Nations, the we had gone there, and then I was appointed as the civil affairs and humanitarian affairs officer, and I was actually controlling almost about 57 international NGOs there, as well as I used to have my own projects of development of that area. We were in the Bay region. Region in Somalia is actually a state. In Bay region, I had established 33 schools and about 11 orphanages. Uh, and the World Food Program, which is again a UN agency, used to provide the food through which, as a salary, uh, I used to distribute the food which was provided as a salary to the workers and all. Uh, it was then I used to employ the locals a lot in construction activities so that their interclan wars do not take place and they are very, very busy. I'll give you an example that there was one road from Baidoa, the town where we were, to a place called Guf Gudud. So that road used to have a lot of convoys of various armies like Indian Army, Nigerian Army, and Irish Army and all. So that road used to get spoiled practically every 2 3 days, and I used to employ at least 500 to 1,000 local people more to keep them busy and to give them food because the country Somalia was in a very dire straits that time, and it is still too, right? So just to keep them busy, and of course to let the convoys go because the convoys used to take a lot of rations and all, not only for the forces but also the local Somali people. Then running those 33 schools, getting the teachers for them, their interviews, and also motivating young ones to join the school because I mean, since ages, if I talk about ages, means decades, they had just been fighting wars over there, and those used to be interclan battles and very, very devastating battles. So the entire community over there had to be kept really busy. Then, as you all know, that 26th January is the Republic Day of India because we have a lot of, I think, foreign people also with us today. So on 26th January 1950, the Constitution of India was adopted after independence in 1947. So I had made a plan that the 26th January would be celebrated there at a very, very large scale. So there was a stadium there. I employed almost 2,000 people to get that stadium repaired. And they were very happy because they were working also. And uh, and we never used to give them salary because as per the UN culture, the salary was not to be given. So it was more of a food because the money they used to spend on a drug. So and the food actually used to reach their home. So I had organized football matches over there, then established, uh, especially for women, because a lot of very young girls either used to be widows or used to be divorced. I mean, if I tell you the age from 9 onwards, they used to be married. About 10, 11, they used to get motherhood. And moment motherhood used to come, they were thrown out of the house. So for their development, a complete life planning center, LFC, was established. And it was two chairwomen were appointed and a lot of aid was given to them to help out the young girls and the ladies over there. And it was almost 1.5 years in Somalia that I never fired a bullet also. So what the concept people have that once you join the defense services, you are always fighting. But I'm not fighting daily with my wife also, right? Uh, then, well, as you had also mentioned in my brief, that I was the chief training officer of a very big center, training center of Indian Army, in which initially, I mean, when I went there to join, I was supposed to be the chief training officer. But in addition, I was given the responsibility of the silver jubilee of my regiment, in which uh, ceremonial parade, which was to be honored by, which was to be attended by the President of India. So the security system, the complete 4 days of schedule, what all kinds of parades, entertainment programs, presentations, gift items, including menu, starting from breakfast to dinner, allocation of guest houses, allocation of vehicles. So it was a very long process. I mean, it took almost 4 to 5 months to, because when the president is coming, it is actually a national level event. And I had the honor to be, hosting or being part of the team hosting the president of India twice in my service time. So, well, and of course, fought against terrorists also, and in Kargil war also. And uh, in fact, joining the defense services was my aim since childhood, as I told you. And like today, the generation is running towards the engineering, IIT, or this thing. So I was not of that kind. I mean, I would have got admission in engineering college really, but I didn't want to. But what happened is, though I didn't want to do engineering, but army made me do automobile engineering. Despite being a science graduate only, I was a technical officer of my regiment for almost 2 years, handling all technical aspects of radars, missiles, tanks. I mean, I'm calling them tanks, right? And so that was almost 8 or 9 months of automobile engineering course, which was really, really very, very packed. Then the second concept which people have, that once you join the defense forces, you don't have to study, which I was also right. Once I get into the defense forces, I will not have to study. But Dr. Anjum, I'm telling you that once you join the defense services, after that, the real studies actually start, because the art of war is actually a science to defeat the enemy. And as you grow further in your service, the art and the science actually becomes very, very complicated. I mean, as you grow in service, like initial days, if we talk about, then you are just having a section or a platoon. Platoon means about 30, 40 men under you. And the biggest weapon is a light machine gun. But as you grow in service, then the weapon system also becomes very big. Engagement ranges, techniques, they become very complicated. So for all those, we have to study. And even you have to study the logistics, administration, and law. So I mean, these kinds of studies and the complications and the depth of those studies keep on increasing. So the way I had joined Ki Arab, I'll not have to study. But later when I realized Ki, it's too much of a studies there also. And before you ask me, Dr. Anjum Qureshi, that the life in defense services is a fantastic one. I'm telling you, it's a very big and extended family. Like next week, I mean, not next week, but 15th of April, I'm supposed to go to Bangalore. And I just asked somebody that I want a guest house over there. And almost 15, 20 people cropped up. Oh, come on, you come over. Though I had never met them also, right? But just because of the rank and the army standing behind me. So today, even after the retirement, that bonding, and it's a very, very thick bonding, which is practically not there in, probably not there in other services, right?
Yes, of course, like when you started with, like people think that the people in different services, what we people, normal people, think that the ones those are working in little services, they're always standing with guns. Yes, when you talked about the challenging assignments, even I was thinking of something like that you must have fought or salmon and all. But this is really something unique that we heard that you have worked in a place, you have built so many schools, and you have worked the development of women. That is something unique that we know. And like you were telling about the different kind of courses you have done, you continuously have to study. This part I know because one of my cousins was in Navy. He has retired after the short service commission, and so I know. And now I could understand why he used to do all such kind of courses. Why you studying this now? Why you studying that? So now I understood why he must have done all this the different kind of courses that he has done. So that's really a great experience. I have some of the like because I have my cousin who was in Navy. And so yes, so one more thing, like you just showed a mug in which you have designed, you have done some painting for it. So certainly you must be having some hobbies also. So what are your hobbies?
Oh, my hobby, my hobby is actually reading, and not WhatsApp messages or Instagram or Facebook messages, but actually it is reading. And that actually helped me crack the UPSC exam and scoring very, very high marks. And yeah, I initially in my childhood, I started with the complete Bengali literature. And I think you're in Kolkata, no?
No, sir. I'm from Maharashtra.
You're in Maharashtra. Okay, fine. But please do convey my salute to your father, right? So I initially started, why I use the word Kolkata was that I was very fascinated with the Bengali literature. Though I do not know Bengali, other than a couple of those sentences which are, the easy ones. So, but I read that complete Bengali literature by about my 10th standard, but in Hindi. And you name the author of Bengali that time, like Sharat Chandra, Bikram Chandra, Rabindranath Tagore. So, not Bikram Chandra, Vimal Mitra, sorry. Uh, uh, so, that really helped me build my writing and reading skills a lot. Today, that hobby is still there, but now since I am imparting training for the defense services, in which a lot of group discussions, very high level group discussions and lectures are held during the interview session. So now I involve myself a lot in the national and international news, but rather than the news, the analysis of that news. Though I don't publish it anywhere other than the WhatsApp group of my veteran friends, but my style of writing has been admired by even the very senior generals who are settled in Mao, which is a very big cantonment near Indore, where I belong to. So I analyze the national international news because that is the input which I have to give to my students also who are attending my classes. And that is the hobby. I used to love to play games, and uh, though football was my favorite one, uh, but I played basketball rather more. But I was not so good in basketball. But I represented my battalion, brigade, and regimental team with football. Basketball, I don't know why I couldn't play very well. And one thing, Dr. Anjum, I should tell you that though as an NCC cadet, I've done flying a lot, power flying I've done with in the Pushpak aircraft, but somehow I could not learn riding at all, horse riding. So somehow I passed my horse riding examinations in Indian Military Academy somehow, but I just passed it. Uh, but like during NSG National Security Guard training, whether it was rappelling down from 13th floor in two steps to the ground floor, or slithering from a helicopter or para jumping. Uh, that I could easily do, but horse riding was really not my cake or whatever you call it. So that had been my drawback throughout the life.
Yeah, that's great to know. Like, yes, your hobbies, especially reading, and then like even your story, because most of the times people don't come to us like, okay, I can't do this, but you are also telling, okay, writing was something which you could not do it so well. Okay, so like you were telling about your academy, yes, you have also mentioned in the profile that I did not read it in the starting because I wanted to ask about it that yes. You have launched an academy, Mix Academy. This is an
Correct.
institution in MP which motivates, guides, mentors, and coaches young boys and girls for the defense forces. And its unique achievement is 219 selections since 2010. So, can you just tell about this academy, how it runs, about
Yeah.
the students,
First
how
of all,
they approach you?
it has got a very typical name, NIKS Nix. Now there's a history behind it. Like when I joined army, so my seniors of the regiment they used to call me Nix. Though my name is Nikhil, I love that name. But in army they abbreviate it, right? So Sandeep always becomes Sandy, Rajiv always become Raji. So from Nikhil I became Nix. And as I grew in service, the junior youngster officers they used to call me Nixer. So when I asked my regiment that I'm opening this institute, so what should be the name? So unanimous decision which came from all the ladies and officers, it has to be Nix, right? Acha. Then actually what had happened that my mother fell very sick and later she passed away also during my service only. So then I took early retirement and I worked in corporate also. But that corporate life was not meant for me. It was not meant for me because I mean, इतना काम ही नहीं होता था. There was not so much of a work to be done there, and they were paying me very high salary. So I actually didn't like it. Then, sorry. Then I did a little bit of study that whether we talk about the central India, I mean, other than Rajasthan or some parts of UP, the representation of especially MP in the defense forces was very, very less. I mean, a small state like Punjab had almost 22.5%, and MP was hardly 2.5%. And the this heartland of our country was more towards business or commercial activities, and later, of course, it became the IT hub or whatever it was. So I thought of that the qualitative training which I went through should be imparted to the youth of the Central India. Though, I mean, I have students from all over the country, a couple of them from Northeast also. So I started this Mix Academy, and in which I impart training for both these UPSC exams, that is National Defense Academy, as well as Combined Defense Services exam. And madam, I'll tell you very point blank and clearly that I get students that when I tell them about the National Defense Academy, which is actually has got the 8th ranking in the world, and the selection is very, very tough. Uh, the way these days the students are moving or running towards the IIT and all. So when I tell them that IIT comparatively comes out very simple because it is only 2 stages and it has got reservation as well. But NDA does not have any kind of a reservation, and the selection rate in NDA is 0.0025%. Of course, I mean, out of 7 to 8 lakh students who apply for it, only 400 get selected, right? And the third exam which I prepare them for is the Air Force Common Admission Test conducted by the Air Headquarters. And also, the most important part is of the Services Selection Board interview, which your father also must have been through, right? Uh, the Services Selection Board interview is of 5 days, and it has got about 16 very different kinds of a test, which starts to are with the screening test. Now, the result of screening test are also mind-boggling. Suppose if 400 candidates have reported for the interview, the number of people getting screened in are anywhere between 50 to 60. And out of those 50 to 60, one or two get selected. So imparting that training with proper professional elan, systematic curriculum, that is the reason that this 293 would be creeping, not creeping, rather leaping to the third century in a couple of months. And yes, I have a boys' hostel also, but for girls, there are nearby girls' hostel where I make them accommodate. And I don't conduct any short-term courses. It is always a long course so that a child is nurtured properly into the system. And once a child has become an officer, after that also I provide them with all the assistance for their promotion exams, for their various courses, for their financial management, including few of the officers I helped them getting married also. Right. So this 293 is a very big and good family of all. And इसमें girls भी बहुत है. There are not many girls are also there. And I'm telling you, girls look very, very pretty in the defense uniforms. They don't have to go for any, what do you call that? Branded ones, right? I mean, they look really fantastic. I mean, boys also look. And in fact, Dr. Anjum, you had asked me that why did I choose this profession of the military? Because if you see me now, I was never good looking. I mean, I used to think, यार ये कैसा तो हूँ मैं. So what to do about it? Whatever the God gave me the face or whatever it was, though I couldn't have changed it like Michael Jackson. With so many plastic surgeries and all. So I chose this profession where the uniform, the rank, the medals makes a person really outstanding and has a very short introduction that I'm Colonel Nikhil Devanji. So who you are is not to be, otherwise if somebody says I'm Mr. So and so, sir, where are you working? What are you? So, I mean, that was the thing which I really wanted and I achieved it also.
Also, you're really doing a great job, because you're training so many people to achieve their dreams, and that's a unique thing. That's a unique thing that actually you are doing. Also, and this, who is your role model? Of course, I know because you have been training so many people, so you are a role model for many. But who is your role model?
Well, if I really say the role model is the Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. But Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw came into my life very late. The people who groomed me first were actually my parents, who imbibed that hobby of reading into me. They imbibed I mean, they used to give me a lot of tasks, and that developed my organizing ability. Just for example, that when I was in my fourth class, my father or mother used to give me a task of going to the bank and withdrawing money. I mean, today a college boy does not know what to do about it. So, and in fact, I had very, very, very good teachers, very good teachers, despite the fact which that I had done my learn board and I studied it in 8 schools. That too remaining only in one city. So what I tell people, acha, then my MSc is also from 4 colleges. BSc from 3 colleges and MSc from the fourth college. So I keep telling that don't run for a good school or a college. You first be good, right? I mean, like I had been in a school in which the fee structure was very high, and then I wanted to change over from CBSE to the MP board, so I went to the school where the fee structure was very low. And the friends whom I made there, the friends whom I made in the previous schools, had a vast difference, because in the previous school, all were rich businessmen, and since they had an empire already in their hands, so career was not the thing for them. Uh, and that was supposed to be a prestigious school, but I still love it. And the other school for which I went, it was a normal medium school, and the boys there were really career oriented, and they really achieved it because they knew that their parents do not have. I mean, they are not going to get any legacy. So what I say always is that you be good. All institutions are there to impart you the quality only, isn't it?
Yes, sir, of course. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Then Dr. Anjum, this fad or fashion of I don't know what is it is called in Maharashtra or in other states, is non-attending schools. Huh? I mean, in MP we call them dummy school, and actually duffers come out of those dummy schools.
Yes, yes, that's growing nowadays. There are more
Arey,
coaching institutes. People
and
go for coaching institutes. They don't see which college they will have with it,
true.
especially after 10. This is like,
Now, I don't, few years back, about I think 2014 or 15, a complete survey had actually been published in all leading newspapers in India. And when the JEE Advanced result had come, that who all will be joining the IIT, the results were mind-boggling. That they had made three columns: a student regularly attending the school. In JEE Advanced, 21.75% students made it to the IITs. The second column which they had made, unfortunately, I don't have that cutting right now, otherwise I would have shown it. The second column was of dummy or non-attending. They had used one more word because dummy, non-attending, or something, in which from 21.75 of regular students, the selection came down to 11.15. Just see, all those who were regular made it more. All those who took dummy has come down to half. Then all these IIT coaching institutes or other institutes, they tell you to take a drop after 12 since you are not qualified. So the dropper percentage is 7.25, right? For example, I mean, I'll give you example of my own house, of my own son. Uh, he had cracked the during his 12th, he had cracked the UC exam and National Institute of Design exam during his 12th. Uh, whether people like it or not, but since we are from a non-reserved category, so he could not come into it. And he always, since childhood, wanted to go for designing. And today, there were only 58 boys or girls who got selected in the National Institute of Designing. He is one of them. So I didn't let him take a drop after 12th, and he joined a designing college. And during that time, he learned designing also for a year. He studied for his both the exams and finally cleared the NID exam also. So the message which goes to the younger generation is that in this age, if you don't work hard, you'll never work hard in your lifetime, isn't it? Because later in life, there are too many responsibilities. Today, the responsibility with you, younger generation, is only to study. And what happens is the droppers have to be really, really motivated, dedicated. They must understand their responsibilities that they are wasting away or investing 365 days of their life. Because value of time is understood either in an examination hall or outside ICU. But when you pick up a book, you don't understand that what is the value of time, isn't it? So, I mean, I really and what is happening is that because of this dummy or non-attending schools, there are many schools which are cropped up, which just has got a one room or a office, and they are minting money, isn't it? You must be seeing this in Maharashtra also.
Yes, sir. There's a culture even here.
Yeah, I mean, and that is a very this culture is actually very derogatory, and it is actually spoiling the future of children.
Yes, sir. Of course it is because and you know this when they are in the 11th and 12th standard, they just concentrate on coaching. They don't go to any school, any college, nothing. And after that, when they come to graduation, of course, some of them will be going to medical colleges, or the others are coming to engineering or whatever. So they are not at all in a mood to attend the college.
See what
It
happens
becomes
is
a habit for them.
The 3 or 4 psychological factors which actually happened with all of us during lockdown, and all those people who have taken dummy schools or droppers, is one is the social quotient. That everybody's social quotient went down very badly during the lockdown. That how much you are socially amicable and how the others also interact with you. And once you have taken a drop, this social quotient goes down a lot, in which spoils their communication skills, their writing skills, their uh, interaction. The second quotient which comes down by all this is the adversity quotient. That since they have taken a drop, there is no adversity which they are facing. Like suppose if you play a game, let's say basketball. So there is an adverse condition every moment. That okay, I have to catch that ball, I have to go ahead, I have to pass it, I have to score a basket. But if you are lethargic sitting in the room only, so your adversity quotient actually goes down a lot. Sorry. Then comes your adjustability quotient. That since you are in a dummy school, you are not doing anything else other than studies, you are not able to adjust with yourself, with the peers, and with the environment. And today, in most of the households, parents are either working or the parents, I mean, they can just supervise the study but cannot teach. In which even the father has gone out for the work and mother can hardly supervise. So, a person, student who has taken a dummy school or a dropper actually needs too much of a supervision, which is not possible. And that's why they don't succeed in life. I mean, you may disagree with me.
Not at all, sir. I am of the same view. In fact, my daughters who just gave 12th standard exam, but I sent her in a regular school. Means every day she had to go to school, no tuitions, but still she is preparing for her entrance exam. And I know she will be doing well, but I didn't send her to any kind of tuitions, no coaching class, nothing. In fact, whatever is there, I am there to teach her. I don't send her anywhere.
And second thing is this online. Because, I mean, you also must be getting calls. I do get lot many calls that do I have online? Everybody wants in their comfort zone, in their bedroom, pillow behind their head, and they want that a guru, a teacher will deliver them when they are lying down on their bed. Yes, during lockdown, it had become essential, but it is not a permanent landmark. Like today, even in the Western world, or why Western world, in India, if online was so good, the first thing PM would have done is to close down all school colleges. Huh? And instead of bringing 5G, he would have brought 10G so that ghar mein baitho aur padhte raho. Because these institutions which are there, other than your education, it develops a lot of qualities in a person. Lot of qualities. But I mean, this generation they don't want to come out of the comfort zone, and that's why they want to become software engineers also. Yes, we do require software engineers, not that, but the main aim is AC will sit in the AC cabin, and if not AC cabin, we'll work from home. because of which they're venturing out into the real environment, facing the real challenges of day to day. They don't do it. Like rushing to the office. So sometimes they will have to jump the red light, though you should not have. We don't jump the red light, but we'll have to really, really rush to the office. And if you're doing work from home, it's a very cushy time, do it. So, I mean, this online is not for education, not at all. So, I'm really against it.
Yes, sir. In lockdown, actually, it has become a necessity. We didn't have any other option, but there were really a number of drawbacks for that. Well, for passing the exam, it was very easy for them. The students used to say, "Okay, madam, class should be offline, but exam should be online." Because, but they used to say offline because in the 2 years they themselves observed the changes in them. They had lack of confidence. There was lack of confidence for them. Like after that, when we started with the classes and we started taking events, so they said, "Ma'am, in this 2 years, we feel that we have just lost that confidence to stand in front of the people and speak because we didn't go out for 2 years. We were only in front of the mobile or the laptops. We don't have that courage to stand and speak." So I used to say, "Okay, I will write down for you, but you go and speak there." So that was the condition. But now again they have come back to their positions. But when we started, right, the very first event, when we started with the classes and we had the first event, it was so difficult. That was a common problem for the students. So yeah, sometimes it can help, but it's totally relying on online is not. You can't get good education with that. That's really
Yes.
true. So and so like of course like you have a training academy in which you are guiding so many students, but besides that in overall country if you see, yes, there are many youngsters who want to join army, who want to join navy. So some tips for such students, what should they do, what how should they study or how should they plan to get into different services?
First of all, okay, fine. Plan your career at a very, very young age, whichever you want to go. Right now, after lockdown, I mean, I was invited for a lot many webinars, and the principal or the teacher used to say that please target the 11th and 12th. I said no. First, I will target the 8, 9, 10 student, and those webinars actually caught the eye of other schools. And then morning time, I used to just conduct webinars only, in which to the 8, 9, 10th class students, I used to tell them. Actually, what happens is that after 10th, they choose a subject. And after choosing the subject, then they hunt for what kind of a career they will have. Well, I did reverse and I succeeded. That first choose the career and then select the subject accordingly. So, I mean, 8, 9, very young kids also were there, and it was really fun talking to them. Sir, I want to become an IS officer. So, should I? I'll be choosing arts in my 11th and 12th. I said, no, you should choose science only because there are 2, 3 things which have changed. One is that even the civil services exam, there's very, very tough IQ test, which was not there earlier, right? And your IQ actually starts developing from 6, 7, age of 6, 7 onwards, and it stabilizes later. But studying science actually helps you sharpen that IQ, right? So I told them that you first put a finger on the career you want, and then choose the subject. And before you choose the career, also think that where it is going to take you, right? Uh, so now you asked a specific question about for the defense services. So I'll tell that as young as possible, you should start preparing for it, not by watching YouTube videos, but rather by inculcating the specific officer-like qualities which are required. Now, how it is to be done from 5th onwards is First is develop reading as a hobby. Second is, as per your class or age, solve as many as IQ tests. Play chess, play Scrabble. Yes, these are indoor games, but play fast moving outdoor games like basketball, football, volleyball, and not cricket at all. Because cricket is not a team game. The entire 22 players are never on the field. Though, I mean, cricket is something like a religion in lot many countries, including India. But I don't know. Chalo. ठीक है ना? So then you must take. I mean, I told you about the reading habits and hobbies, developing your IQ. Then also to develop IQ, two more things which a person can do. One is playing some instrument. I mean, it can be a flute also, which is just hardly 25 rupees, right? Or even a tabla on a table, right? I mean, you don't have to buy the instrument, but you can learn it, right? Because that develops IQ. And if you can focus or learn one more language other than which is being taught or spoken, that helps developing the IQ a lot, right? Then after 10th, now the importance wise of the education, I'll talk about that. Till 8th, everybody is small and enjoy the life. But remember always that 9th is foundation of 10th, 10th is foundation of 11th, and 11th is foundation of 12th. So normally what the teachers, the students, the parents, the principals think that 10th is a board exam, very important year, or 12th is a board exam, very important year. No. The foundation years are the most important as per me. I mean, people may differ. But we see when a building is being constructed, the first thing is laid is a foundation, and foundation is made very, very strong. Because during their board exam time, say 10th or 12th, the teaching in the school reduces because they have to conduct a lot of pre-boards. And finally, then the board exam is to be conducted, right? So almost 70-80% of teaching is actually in 9th and 11th. But people focus on 10th and 12th. When your 9th and 11th is not good, your 10th and 12th will also be not good, right? Now, why 10th is the foundation of 11th? Because whatever you studied in 10th, maybe it's a very thin chemistry book, but that becomes this big when you go to 11th. It gets, far more dimensions, right? Similarly, maths was this thin book. Now, moment you go in 11th, and 11th is the most shocking year of a student because 4 to 5 books of chemistry, 4 to 5 books of mathematics, 4 to 5 books of physics. Oh, I have to study all this. So it comes as a shock to them, right? So during 11th, just focus on your 11th so that your foundation during 12th is very good. Now, since you asked for defense services, so let me tell you that moment a child or a student passes his 11th and goes into 12th, or her also nowadays, passes 11th, goes into 12th, can apply for the National Defense Academy exam in the month of May, and the exam will be in September. Now, what all is going to happen during 12th is to be understood. That first week of September is NDA exam. The pattern, the syllabus is totally different, not related to 11th and 12th at all. Then November, October, November will be their pre-boards. The pattern will be totally different. January will be their JEE mains exam. So the syllabus is of PCM only, but pattern is different. February, they will have their board exam, practicals. March, they will have their final written board exam. And April, again, they will have their JEE mains. So during 12th, a student is just moving from one examination to another examination. So the foundation of that examination starts from 9th onwards and not from 12th onwards. Isn't it? 12th ke time mein to nobody has got any time. I mean, the child is moving from exam to exam. So during 11th, just focus on 11th so that in 12th, neither you nor your parents nor your teachers are worried about. And a good score in 11th assures a very, very good score in JEE mains also and 12 board also, right? And of course, if for the graduate level exams you want to ask, then I would suggest that after 12th, do engineering from any college. It will not make a difference. But your, what do you call it, percentages from first semester onwards should be very, very high. Though you will be able to apply for the graduate level exams in your last year of graduation and not after completion of graduation. The first opportunity is last year of graduation. So that means your previous percentages of second, third year are counted when you apply online. So people think that in seventh and eighth semester they will jump up, but the old crimes cannot be reversed back, right? And in the last year of graduation, they can apply for the Combined Defense Services exam. Yeah, again a misnomer which students have about the Air Force Common Admission Test. Now, it is a Air Force Common Admission Test in which any graduate can apply. And the misconception about this exam everybody has got is that PCM is required in 12th. No, not at all. For Air Force accounts, for Air Force logistics branch, even the commerce who had commerce in 12th can apply. I mean, I have students who have done BBA, Bachelor of Journalism, BCom. They are also officers in Air Force. Yes. Navy is mainly taking only BTech graduates and MBA. But again, the score in MBA every semester should be more than 85%. And BTech graduates also, till you apply, it should be about 83, 84, 85%. I mean, from your dad's time, it has become very, very different, right?
So that was really a great learning impact for the people who must be listening. Like even I guess like what my daughter should do. Well, she doesn't want to go to the different services, of course. She has some other plans, but of course, like it was really great learning because people here they don't have that awareness, especially like the place where we live. It's a very small place. So we just don't have so much of awareness. So the people who will be listening, so it's going to be very helpful for them. In fact, and yes, I'm surely I'm just forwarding just as I finish this interaction, this finish session, I'm going to forward it in my group so that my students just listen to it and they get so much of inspiration from you. And so it was really great talking to you, and it was a great interaction, a great learning for me also because I could know so many things. So I learned so many new things from you, and so especially regarding the how the different services goes on and how to get into it and all. And so before going, one small message from you to all the audience who are listening to us from to the online platform, to YouTube or Facebook.
Choose your career your own. Don't get influenced by anybody else. Like I motivate, I train for defense services, but my son had chosen the career of designing when he was in 7th standard. So choose as early. Yes, the way you are asked me the role model, fine. There should be role models, but no blind faith on anybody other than your own efforts, right? And choose it yourself. And as early as possible, do it. Also, reading habits and hobbies are very, very important in life. And playing outdoor, fast moving team games are very important. Don't be couch potatoes, busy or wasting time only on the social media. Don't do that. And you all will succeed with Dr. Anjum Qureshi, who is so dedicated towards the cause and helping so many people, right? So do this and you will succeed. And we all are there to help you out. And you can reach us to reach us. We'll certainly help you out. And Dr. Anjum, all the best to your daughter.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And also thank you, sir, for joining with us and sharing your inspiring journey with us. And in fact, sharing a lot of your knowledge with all of us. Thank you, sir. And I also thank, of course, Javi Shankar, sir, the founder of Idym Group of Companies, for arranging such a wonderful show, such a unique talk show. And before leaving, I'd just like to tell in short that this show, it has crossed more than 100 episodes, and we had people from participating in from different countries also. So it's really great show with us going on. And every
How many
show is
joined on the
learning.
YouTube?
So that I don't know, and now I'm in the Zoom meeting. So once I just
Okay.
close this, only after that I will be able to see it. So yes, of course, sir, because it is in even for some security reasons, and when people keep on joining it, so there's a lot of disturbance also. So we, and especially only for this beyond education, we don't allow others to join it. Right? And then all the people will see it at their convenience because it is live. It is always there on YouTube and Facebook channel. So people watch it as per their convenience.
Please share the YouTube link also with me.
Okay, sir. So that means I will share it with you.
Okay. Convey my regards to your father and signing out now with a Jai Hind and all the best to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.